what's your offer to clients now? What is the price point, and how do you actually get them to do all this themselves?
We did surpass 100K a month, and we peaked at like I think our top month was like 250K a month. But this model is way less stressful because a lot of our the clients are running their own ads, they're managing their own ads. So what we do is we charge 7K for 8 weeks, and after that we go $997 a month. Yeah, so what we do is we do an very Alex Hormozi model.
I'd love to get some tactical takeaways.
It was super lonely when I first started out. I mean, when I moved back in with my parents, all my classmates are all going to Toronto, getting good jobs and everything like that.
I'm very excited for today's special guest. I'm here with Mr. Graydon. What's up, man?
What's up, man? Thank you for having me.
Nice to see you, man. Of course. I'm super excited that you are on. How long have we known each other? Been about 2 years?
I think it's been about 2 years, yeah.
Just about 2 years.
Just after Amir introduced us, or introduced like the entrepreneurs group.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was probably like 2 years ago.
That's amazing. That's cool. And what I love about your agency, we've talked about it in depth. I love that you are in a niche that's considered highly competitive.
Yes.
And that's considered like there's not many of these businesses around, right?
Yeah, like the med spa niche, it's small, but it's kind of like a sexy industry, right? Like everyone wants to get into it. A lot of the coaches will say like, oh, margins are high, they make a lot of money. So a lot of people go after med spas, but it's a pretty small industry. I think the last survey there was like, I think 10,000 med spas there's in the States. There's probably a bit more now, but it's a pretty small industry.
Yeah, that's crazy. And you guys are absolutely crushing it in that space. So why don't we start at the top? How did you even find yourself in the agency space?
So I went to university, so I'm Canadian. I went to Queen's University in Ontario, Canada. I took a business program. And actually before I went to university, when I was in high school, my dad, I got super lucky because a lot of parents, it's like the opposite. They're telling you not to start a business, right? Like take the traditional route. So my dad actually has a med spa, and he's a doctor, and he owns this med spa, and he's very entrepreneurial. And when I was in high school, I remember one day we were driving down, just like downtown together, and he just told me, he's like, look, all these businesses, they probably don't have websites. You should probably go out and build some. So he kind of just like told me.
I love that.
Yeah. And he bought a lot of courses too, like business courses, to build his business too, right? So my first gig was in high school building mobile websites for local businesses. This was when smartphones were getting really popular, but all the websites look like shit on a phone, right? It's like you got to zoom in.
Yep.
So my brother and I just started, I think summer it was like 2012 or something like that, or 2011. We knocked on a bunch of doors in my hometown and sold some mobile websites. And our first deal, I think, was $27 a month.
Wow.
Yeah.
With an upfront fee or just a flat 27?
No, just flat fee, $27 a month. But it was nice. Wow. Like we had enough clients where by the time I was going to university, we had like $1,000 a month coming in every month, which was pretty cool.
You and your brother?
Yeah.
And so you guys split it 500
yeah.
a person?
So it was like beer money.
Yeah. I love it, man. So your dad kind of initially sparked that entrepreneurial spirit.
Yeah, he sparked it. I went to school. My brother, he took engineering at Queen's. I took commerce, the business program. And then when we graduated, we both came home and tried to start our businesses. We tried to just get back into business. And so at that point, we came back home, and my brother actually started selling. He took all these different approaches. He was selling things on Amazon. He was doing FBA, like all these different things. And I was working with different local businesses. I was working with yoga studios, chiropractors, you name it, like a whole bunch of different things, right? You know how you kind of like generalize to start? Mm-hmm. And we kind of floundered for a year. Like we made some money, but then a year later, we're just like, well, why don't we just specialize in med spas and team up and just blow it up? Because we have this right? Like our dad owns a med spa. And so as soon as we did that, we created the name Forever Booked. And as soon as we did that, we started to get a lot more success. And we've been working with med spas since.
I love it, man. That's such a good name, too. I remember the first time you told me that. Damn, why didn't I think of that? Because
it took us like a solid 3 days to just like come up with a name. We eventually got it,
Yeah, and you have the domain?
Yep.
For that?
Foreverbooked.com.
That's amazing. I love that. So how did you find yourself in the agency space after you were doing the websites? Because that's an easy in.
Oh, yeah.
How did you transition into, you know what, we should do agency services? Was it Facebook ads in the beginning? Was it like, what exactly did you offer?
So it was actually another course my dad bought. So my dad, he's kind of an oddity because he's a doctor, but he loves marketing. Most doctors hate marketing.
Yep.
So about the time that I graduated, he bought this course called the Profit League, Jeff and Jess Sammys, shout out to them, fellow Canadians. And they were teaching Facebook ads. And my dad's like, I don't have time to implement this. Can you implement this for me? So that was the first course I joined to learn Facebook ads. And we implemented it for my dad's clinic, and it just blew up. I think first campaign made him like 50K. We started doing a bunch of other things, and he was just...
And how long?
I think like a month and a half.
Wow.
But yeah, we made my dad a lot of money with all the campaigns since. But that was the first like course that got us onto Facebook ads.
Amazing. So you rolled it up for your dad as like a beta client, as like a test.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And he trusted you enough with a little bit of budget. You guys ran it. You were just some college kids. They needed more beer money. And when did you have the realization of, let's do this for more med spas? Let's actually turn this into a business.
It was actually, it was pretty quick after that. Actually, we took a weird route. My dad and I actually created a done with you, more of a consulting program way back when. So he bought the Profit League, but he also bought Sam Ovens Consulting Accelerator and Up-Level Consulting.
That's crazy.
So we actually implemented Up-Level Consulting as our way of like expanding to other clinics. That actually didn't work out very well because I discovered later that it's much better to sort of cut your teeth and done for you before you do a consulting thing, right? But we did it the opposite way. So we did that. It didn't really work. So they're like, okay, we need to do done for you. And then we did that right after. So it was pretty much right after we got results with my dad that we figured, this should be implemented for other clinics.
Amazing. So when you say done for you, you mean done for you Facebook ads. So example, you were working with medical spas and you want to do all their Facebook ads and manage their Facebook ads. Did you start with GoHighLevel at this point, or were you just delivering Facebook leads like in a spreadsheet or something like that?
This was pre-GoHighLevel. So were you just using Facebook ads, Zapier, Google Sheets?
Google Sheets, that's the way we did it too.
Google Sheets and MailChimp.
Then you just hand off the Google Sheet to your client.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
The classic.
Here are your leads. Call them. Good luck.
Yeah.
I love it, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, it seems like so long ago, right? That was even a thing.
It does, yeah. So outdated now. And so at this point, how did you even reach out to the first couple clients? Like, I'm guessing you used your dad as a case study, but how did you start reaching out to other clinics?
We actually did it old school way. We just went door to door. We took my dad's car, and then we went to we didn't go to the clinics in our city because it's his competitors.
Right.
We drove all the way around the GTA, Greater Toronto area. Just drove to all the neighboring cities and just went into the clinic, knocked on the door, went into the clinic and offered our services. So we got a couple clients that way, just like hitting the pavement. And then I actually started ads too. Like I learned B2B Facebook ads from the Profit League. And I created like a VSL program, a VSL funnel. I learned that from Sam Ovens too, like the whole VSL. And since then we've just been running a shit ton of ads. And we got a lot of clients from ads early on. And it was cheap too. We were booking like 25, I remember I had a $50 a day budget. And the first day I launched ads, I had 5 calls. It's like $10 calls. It was crazy.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
What year was this?
This was 2018. Yeah.
2018.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I've been doing this for a while.
Very early.
Yeah, I was early. Like back then, it was pretty sick.
Yeah.
It was nuts.
When you first walked into those medical spas, what did you say? Did you have some kind of script, or do you and your brother I just picture you guys walking out of the car and be like, "Hey guys, so
man,
I do this thing with my dad. I think I could do it here."
Yeah, I remember I was like super terrified. At the most I was ever terrified was when we were in high school, when we were selling the mobile websites. We were doing door to door then. And then I was also scared because I was older and had a bit more experience. I had some door to door experience selling pest control too in university. But it's like their clinics, they're a bit higher end, and like it's a medical place.
Yeah.
So I was pretty freaking nervous. I think what we did, I honestly can't remember the script. We probably just said something like, "Hey, do you want more appointments? Do you want more clients?" We also had this review system that we were selling too, where we would offer them Google reviews as well. I think we tested those 2 approaches.
Google reviews before GoHighLevel. So you were doing a lot of stuff.
Another thing I was doing, this is right after I graduated, I was filming free videos for local businesses and putting those videos on YouTube. I like interviewing them, creating videos and putting them on YouTube.
Yeah.
And then doing that for free. as like a foot in the door, then offering something after that. So yeah, I've done a lot of like in-person, reach out when I first started.
Yeah, and that's great because you spoke with these people face to face, right? And you've worked with them, you've walked into the clinics, you've spoken to them. Obviously, you have your dad, who you've spoken to your whole life, so you knew the ins and outs. But even if someone didn't have their dad to rely on, they can still walk into a facility and say, hey, I'm willing to do this for free. Did you guys do free trials in the beginning, or was it paid?
I've done lots of free trials, yeah. Free trials then, and then a bit later on, we did some free trials for reactivation too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's, like, honestly, starting out free trials is a great way to go.
I think so,
it's a great offer.
What were you charging?
I think we were charging like standard $1,500 a month when we did it.
In 2018?
2018, I think it was $1,500, but we would do maybe a discount. They did 3 months. It was like $1,500 for 3 months. That's what we charged. Yeah, $1,500 a month for 3 months. But yeah, like the free trial, we would just do it free. And then when we got GoHighLevel, so yeah, we had no software, and then I started using GoHighLevel like right when it came out. And then when I started doing GoHighLevel, I joined another program. I learned how to do reactivation, and that's when I started doing like the reactivation. And for that, I think we started off with the free trial, and then once they got some results, we would put them on retainer.
Yeah. What do you call your database reactivation?
Called the booster shot.
The booster shot. I remember that.
Yeah. That's like a good tip. Like, you should try to, create names for different systems that you have.
Yeah, that's one thing that stood out when we met. Everyone around me, including me, I was calling it to my clients database reactivation. Yeah. And then I met you and you're like, yeah, we do this thing called a booster shot and this and that. And I was like, wait, that's a reactivation, is it not? You said exactly, but we renamed it.
Yeah, I'm like, we're going to inject your clinic with revenue, right? They're all doing injections. Exactly. So it's like it fits the niche. And like sometimes you have names that don't catch on, but this one really catched on. Clinics are like, oh, can we do a booster? When's the last time we did a booster?
Yeah. Amazing.
So, yeah,
hey, we'll do a free booster shot if you get started today. Yeah. Love it, man. That's amazing. So, and then when did you get started on GoHighLevel?
Pretty much right when it came out, probably 6 months into it. Yeah. It was like, when did it come out? 2019?
I don't even know.
I think
I used it in 2020. So
I think it came out 20.
It was either 18 or 19.
I think, yeah. Pretty
probably around there. Okay. Amazing. And so how did your offer pivot? We'll get to where you are now. But from there, how did you pivot? How did you introduce GoHighLevel into your Facebook ads agency? Because that's really what it was, right? You weren't doing websites or anything. It was just Facebook ads.
Yeah.
So how did you end up transitioning? How did you fit GoHighLevel into that space?
At the start, we were just, I don't think we made a big deal that, hey, we're using the software or anything like that. Well, we were just using it to nurture the leads. And we quickly found out that, like, having them go into their GoHighLevel, message all the leads back, no one does it. So what we did was create this service, another buzzword that we created. We created the patient concierge. And we hired a bunch of VAs and then showed them how to do the lead nurturing for the clients, right? And so that was a big differentiator for us back then. Not a lot of clinics, they were like giving them GoHighLevel, but the staff still had to do in the messaging. And so what we did was we kind of created our own little like text messaging center. So we would run the ads for the clients, and then we had the GoHighLevel automations, but then we would also have our VAs doing all the messaging. So that's like a big thing we push. Hey, we're going to run your leads. We're also going to follow up with all of them. And then the next part is like, how do you book appointments for clients? Because especially with the medical clinic, there's a whole, you have to integrate with the schedule and everything. So what we did, instead of booking them in person, we booked them a phone call, like an introductory call. Mm-hmm. So we had our clients give us availability. We would follow up, book a phone call, and then we would give them a script to book that to in-person appointment. Yeah. So that's how we started with GoHighLevel. It was mainly just using the follow-up piece. Okay.
And so to be clear, the virtual assistants that you hired, you were paying them something like $4 or $5 an hour to go in on your client's behalf on the GoHighLevel account and respond as if they were the client.
Yeah. So it was like AI messaging now, but it was with people.
It was AI, but with an actual person.
Yeah. Exactly.
Okay. Yeah. Amazing. And they were booking introductory phone calls, which is interesting that you do that, because I actually didn't know that, but that's exactly what we do as well. I learned with contractors, you can't book them in-home appointments. They don't like that. Some of them are unqualified, sometimes a double book. So we booked them phone calls. And so at this point, when you started getting all these virtual assistants, what were you doing per month in revenue, roughly?
Back then, we were kind of like probably around like 40, 50K a month. Yeah, it's hard to remember exactly, but I think we were doing it.
So you started your company in 2018?
Yeah.
And then by
2017.
Nice.
Yeah, so 2017, to go back with the revenue, we were probably like we were making like 20K a month for about a year. Like this is a slow build. So like 20K a month for a year, then we're kind of up to like 50K a month. And then, so around that time that we're talking about, like 2018, 2019, we're making around 50K a month at that point.
I see.
Yeah.
And then when did you first hit the 100K a month mark?
So I believe it was, I've just done so many different programs like this. I've run this business for 6 years, but it's like I've almost started 3 different businesses because I've changed the models.
Within the one, yeah.
I've changed the models so many different times. But I think the first time we hit 100K was probably, I think it was like 2022. Dude, we were like between 50, between like 30 and 70K probably for like 2 to 3 years. And then we finally hit 100K around 2022. And before that, I also joined another program. I joined remember Alan?
Yep.
Alex Ramosey's. So I
software.
joined that, and his agency launch thing. We were doing pay per show. That didn't quite work out. Just the way it was structured with our agency and the industry. Like pay per show it's difficult to do with your work with med spas.
And pay per show is the client, the medical spa, pays every time a patient shows versus a flat retainer.
Yeah, but we were
transitioning
tested. From the phone appointments, so we were charging it for every phone call that showed up.
Smart.
And we actually blew up. We did surpass 100K a month with that offer, but the fulfillment, it was too hard to sustain. And since medical spas have so many different types of appointments and treatments, it's very hard because it's a standardizer, right? You'd have to have like a different value for each appointment coming in. It was very operationally complex. So we didn't continue with that. We did learn a ton about how to build we learned a ton about like in-person sales through agents, like the program. Like the one great benefit about that program, Alex Ramosey had crazy training to like build your agency. So we use Alan to do pay per show, and then we use GoHighLevel to do pay per show. So we got rid of Alan and then started to try to do pay per show with GoHighLevel.
Yeah.
That also failed. That was kind of a failure. And then after that, then we started transitioning to a model where we offered more of the software services. So after that, we were doing Facebook ads. We were also doing like following up with leads on your website and different things. So that's when we started to move more towards the model that you teach now, which is more of the software.
I see, the software with other services.
Yeah, exactly.
So you tested, from Facebook ads agency, only Facebook ads, you then transitioned into using HighLevel, so having a virtual assistant, going in, responding, and then you pivoted into this model, so pay per show, right? Was there something in between? Or you guys went into pay per show? Yeah,
we went in for pay per show using 2 systems, Alan, GoHighLevel. We stopped that.
Yeah.
And then after that, we went back to retainer. But we were charging, we had a lot of more experience at this point. We're getting better results. So at that point, we were able to, we did surpass 100K a month. And we peaked at I think our top month was 250K a month with that model. But it was very, it wasn't sustainable, right? The classic story, you get to crazy revenue marks. Yeah. It's not sustainable, so you kind of
you just hate your life working.
Yeah, dude. One thing about medical spas is it's a very heterogeneous service delivery model. So it's different. If you're working with a real estate agent, you're just booking them appointments for real estate, right?
Right.
But a med spa can have 200 services, an insane amount of services. And they want to run different ads for it. And so scaling that up and media buying for all those clients, and each client has all these services they want to run, it becomes very, very difficult to scale the media buying. You either have to have a crazy media buying team, or you have to niche down even further and just do body sculpting or just do injectables. Or you need to be super strict with clients and be like, look, there's only 3 offers that we run, and we can only run these offers. So it's difficult to, a lot of med spa agencies will kind of, burn out at around 100K a month because it's difficult to manage all that.
I see.
Yeah.
And so you guys went back to retainer. And then how long were you on retainer for before you switched into I know you have a more SaaS model now.
Yeah, so there's another model between that. So the sort of trajectory up to this point, it was us getting the client closer and closer to the sale, right? Because the classic thing is the client doesn't follow with leads, they don't close appointments. So we're going to get better results by doing more for the client. So we did the classic retainer. We were using our patient concierge to follow up with the leads, book them phone appointments, etc.
Patient concierge, that's a call center.
Yeah, it was a texting center. And then what we did was we eventually transitioned to a call center because we're like, okay, screw it. We want to get even better results. And so we started building a call center. And that was actually November 2022, I believe. We're doing that.
Okay. Good memory.
Yeah.
Which day?
I don't remember the day. So we built the call center and we launched that whole offer for our clients. And then we quickly realized that I do not want to run a call center. It's terrible. I don't like doing it. Lots of people can do it, but we quickly realized that, it's not for us. So we pretty much got to $250K a month. Then we launched this call center. That just totally blew up in our face. We didn't get good results at all.
And profit margins, I'm guessing, were way down
it was
now.
just way too many moving parts. And this just wasn't the business I wanted to run. So then at that point, ChatGPT came out November 2022, pretty sure, right? And then ChatGPT started integrating with HighLevel around, I think it was December, January 2023. And so as soon as I realized that ChatGPT came out for GoHighLevel, I figured to myself, I'm like, I want to start doing done with you, SaaS, actually teaching clients how to do it. Because I wanted to do that before, but I knew that if you didn't set up the clients with a good lead nurturing system for GoHighLevel, they wouldn't be able to do SaaS very well. They'd need the AI nurturing piece. So that's why I was kind of waiting for the AI nurturing. And once that came out, I was like, screw this. We're going to totally transition to this model, which we're doing now, which is more consulting SaaS. Yeah, so that was a lot.
So tell me about that. So you pivoted in 2023, early 2023, into AI and SaaS. And I actually remember because we got dinner around that time, and you were just telling me that you were starting to build out that side of the business.
Yeah. So, man, we took a pretty big hit. We had all these clients that we just didn't want to fulfill because we went from...
How many clients do you have at this point?
I think we had 110 clients at that point, and we went from we were doing the most done for you possible. We were call center is the most done for you possible, right?
Yeah.
And so we ended up firing so many of our clients. We had to refund a bunch because our model wasn't working very well. So we had to give a bunch of refunds. We fired all the clients that didn't like. The classic agency story where they just get to this point, they fire everyone. So we pretty much got down from I think we ended up with about 20 clients. So we almost had to start from zero. But it was super nice because my brother was going crazy. He manages all the media buying and stuff. He was going crazy. So it was a nice sort of weight off our back. And we just started building it up again. So we had a new offer that was 100%, it was done with you. And it was honestly, it was difficult to get going. It's been a lot of work, a lot of learning points, but we've scaled it from pretty much $10K a month to now we're averaging $130, $150K a month in the past year. So still long. Wow. We still want to build it much higher, but
so we went from 10, 20K a month to 130K a month in a year. Wow.
Yeah. And it's because we did it so many times that it was a lot easier to scale up this time. But it's that 130K a month is much different than the one we were doing when we were doing done for you, because that was so stressful. But this model is way less stressful because a lot of our the clients are running their own ads, they're managing their own ads. So it's pretty cool.
Interesting. So what's your offer to clients now? What is the price point? And how do you actually get them to do all this themselves?
Yeah, so what we do is we do an 8-week, this is very Alex Hormozy model, where you do a defined end program up front and then you do monthly, right? And he says that the more you charge up front, the more people will stay on a continuity, the bigger the head, the longer the tail type situation. So what we do is we charge $7K for 8 weeks. We'll give people discounts though, if they get started soon, or referrals, we'll give them, we'll discount it. We can get them started for $5K, between $5 and $7K. For 8 weeks, and after that we go $997 a month. When we first started, we were only charging $497, and then we just pretty much bumped up the price
after the upfront fee.
Yeah, so we do $5K for this 8-week program. During that 8-week program, it's very hands-on. We're teaching people how to get everything set up and everything like that. And then after that, it's just a 1 month, $997 a month.
I see.
Yeah.
And so you have, what does that first 8 weeks look like? I know you do the booster shot in the beginning, in the first, week, 2 weeks?
Yeah.
And then
So
you
we
have
do
a team member go in and do a one-on-one call, or like, what does that look like?
So the whole support that we were initially doing one-on-one calls for our clients, but we quickly realized this does not work. For like done with you cannot be one-on-one calls. So then we started doing, a couple calls a week, group calls. And then we have 4 hours of calls per day. So we have every day we have calls from like 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. every day. We don't call them account managers, we call them marketing coaches. Shout out to Eric Fajnat for that, actually. Fajnat, because he gave me that term. Yeah. So we have marketing coaches on the call. And then what we do, this is something we implemented recently. One big thing with Done With You is we drastically underestimated how much hand-holding people need. Because our original assumption was that, we can just give them this program, give them an action plan, it'll go in and implement. But these are clinic owners, small business owners, super busy. And if they just run into one thing that is going to stop them, whether it's a Facebook integration or like Twilio, number verification, anything that's going to, it's their momentum and their enthusiasm gets absolutely ruined so quick. So what we do now is when they sign up with us, they complete this super, super thorough survey. We call it the transformation plan. And we'll take all the numbers and build them at like a custom action plan. So we give them this PDF. It's like a super nice PDF. We'll do some analysis on their business. We'll figure out where their bottlenecks are based on like their revenue, their profit, all the different procedures, treatment rooms. Like we analyze the whole thing. And then based on the bottlenecks they're experiencing, we'll like suggest a custom route through our program and what to focus on. And that's really nice because we've systematized that where it doesn't take too long for us to create it because there's different sort of archetypes. But when clinics, them getting a custom plan is so much different than us just putting them into a program. The fact that it's custom made for them, they're going to listen to it so much more and they're going to be way more ready to implement it because it is custom, right? So since doing that, we've had a lot better results.
And you deliver that custom plan, on a Google Doc?
Yeah, we just give them.
Or how do you show it to them? I guess you do a one-on-one call.
So what we do is they sign up, they complete a sign-up form. We give them a document that just has some an onboarding checklist. Right. They're going to get on their first onboarding call. So we have 4 group onboarding calls every week. That's where we do like all the technical onboarding. Okay. And then they'll also submit their survey as well. And then like a day or two later, we'll send them the transformation plan, which is essentially their action plan through the program. So we'll send them a Google Doc. We'll even shoot a quick Loom as well, just like walking through it. And that's people, they really, really like it. And then we'll also call them. We'll give them a phone call. You have to have as many touch points as possible. Like you want to be almost annoying with these clients, right? And just be on them so much that they have absolutely no excuse to not implement.
100%. Do you tell them to get on another onboarding call since you have so many, or do they only do one and then you just call?
They can get on one. I mean, sometimes they can get on different ones, but usually it just takes one call to do it. And then after that, look, go through our program, implement your action plan, get as far as you can with our instructions online, and then when you reach a roadblock, jump on our support calls, and we'll help you move forward.
So this is like a coaching program because you give them videos.
Yeah, dude.
It's basically a coaching program. They join, they sign up, they get a custom plan, and now they're going through your course modules where you teach them how to use high level, I assume, and all of that, right?
Yeah. So the way I look at it is, you want to make it work for clinics that need a lot of hand-holding, but some clinics, they're just like, screw it, I don't want to get on calls. I don't want to have to text an agency or email them for one change, then wait a week for them to get back. I just want to do this myself. So we've structured it where if a client wants completely do it yourself, they can go through it, do it yourself. But if a client wants more help, they can go a done with you and get on our calls and do it with us. So different clients want different things. So we just made it accommodate all those different types of people.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
What do you cover inside the course?
So, man, it's crazy. I've probably built 20 different versions of online training since I started this business, because I'll build it and then it's not how I like it, so I'll rebuild it again. And it's just been iteration after iteration. Even just this year, we've probably built I probably redid my entire course 5 times. Wow. Not totally new content every time, but we've redone it, and I actually just released the latest version like a couple days ago. And this one is like super tight. So we teach them everything. We teach them all the mindset stuff, sales mindset. We teach them how to select offers, how to create packages, how to follow up with leads, how to do a proper consultation. Pretty much everything. We don't go super deep into like the software stuff because we more focus on the sales, like how to close and everything.
Right, which is, I'm guessing, their bottleneck anyways.
Yeah, exactly.
How does that work with ads and them wanting to get new leads? Do you use UpHex or do you teach them how to go into their ads manager? What does that look like?
Yeah, we use UpHex. So one of the things they have trouble doing is selecting offers. So that's we'll sometimes like look at their clinic and we'll suggest offers for them. So we'll give them actually a full campaign. So a campaign it starts off with a reactivation and then you run ads.
Do they run the reactivation or do you guys run that for them?
It's like, this is like a hybrid. So what they do is they submit a booster shot request form. So they fill out the form, they put the booster shot text and they schedule it for a date and then our team will run it. So there's certain things with Done With You and SaaS that you want to sort of find the pieces that are very technical and clients have difficulty with it and just doing Done For You for that part. So you do like selective Done For You, right? In the parts that are difficult. So all they have to do is select their offer, enter the form, schedule it, and then our team will run it on that date and we'll do all the database formatting and everything.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So before that, you were saying they did the booster shot, and then what happens after that?
So they do the booster shot, and then right after that, they do the meta ads. So as soon as they do the booster shot, we can take that same offer that they sent to their database. We run ads for it. And then, we'll give them all the training for that. We give them all our Canva templates. We have a graphic designer who will do like media drops every week. So like drop new media that they can use.
For all the clients? Or for
So
for each individual?
No, just for all the clients. So that's the great thing about the Done With You is you can really scale up. It's just so much more effective when you give a template for everyone, right? So everyone can use it. True. And then they can make the changes themselves. So we give them the base template. It looks really nice. And then we let them make those individual changes by themselves. So we'll give it to the whole community, and then they can make as many changes as they want.
I love it. That's great. So you have one designer, and and that's so much better for each client because they, for $1,000 a month, right, for $997 a month, they have a graphic designer, they have you guys, they have sales training, they have all this stuff. It's a proper coaching program, and now every single week they're getting new creatives.
Yeah.
And you guys know what works, so they're high converting creatives. They're not hiring some random intern or some random, marketing degree student that has never made a Facebook template in his life. And so then they can use that. And so when you use UpHex, do you go into their sub account on HighLevel and then you launch it in the beginning for them? Or do you have just like a video telling them, hey, launch it like this. This is how you do it. And then...
Yeah, we have docs and training that shows them how to do it. So we always want to try to get them to do it themselves. And if they can't do it themselves, then they jump on a call. So it's always like us showing them how to do it. And then if they can't do it, they'll jump on a call. And then when they get on a call, the marketing coach will just walk through the training that they were supposed to go through in the first place, so they can be like, oh, you're just going through the training. And then they're like, okay, maybe I can actually do this myself the next time. But we give them all the stuff, and if they can't do it, then we help them with it.
Awesome. What kind of budget do typically the med spas have per month for Facebook ads?
We always say like minimum 25 a day.
Nice.
Yeah, ideally want to have 50 a day, like per campaign. Yeah, 25 a day.
So I remember we talked and you were doing this for $497, and I thought that was awesome, right? That's kind of like the standard SaaS pricing. If you're doing UpHex and Facebook ads, it's usually $500, but you're not charging $997. I mean, there's agencies that charge that much, and it's all done for you.
Yeah. So the way I look at it is like, I want to be the most premium Done With You program, right? And to really offer the most premium service, we need to charge more money because I want to get really good people. I want to have incredible support. Like I want to be the highest quality version, right? And so honestly, like if you can, it depends how much money you can make. If you can get the same results, if not better, with the Done For You or Done With You, why not charge the same amount? So we are on the high end, but there's just so much value that we provide beyond just the software, right? That's like the worst thing you can do with SaaS is just make it about the software. Like the software is an afterthought, and all the value is like us doing media drops, the daily support calls. So whenever you want to know like what's hot now, like what ads are working, you can jump on the call and we'll know exactly what's happening. All the support, the AI follow-up that we set up, like all these things come into play. And that's why like I think $997 is a bargain for what we're offering them.
Yeah, definitely. Because even after they generate the lead from UpHex, you said you have AI inside there now responding to all the Facebook leads?
Yeah, we'll do total AI setup. We have it all set up with Capri AI. And we started that like a year ago. So we're super deep into that now. We have that really dialed in. Capri AI, we give them a knowledge database, a Google spreadsheet so they can add all their clinic information, make the AI super smart. Pretty much everything's set up for them that way. The AI is difficult to set up at the start, but it's totally worth it.
Yeah. And what's the end outcome of the AI? Is it still to book that intro call appointment?
So what we do is, this is like an issue that we tried so many different permutations to try to fix the whole like booking appointments, calendar syncing thing. We've tried pretty much everything, right? And what we do now is we generate what we call hot leads. So when a lead gets scheduled, we don't send the lead to the clinic and tell them to call that lead. Because a Facebook lead, if they just fill out a form, they're not very qualified, right? Well, they're not very hot because oftentimes they'll call the lead and they're like, why are you calling me, etc. So the lead gets generated, our AI follows up and turns them into a hot lead. And a hot lead is someone who's conversated with the AI and has said through text, yes, I want to come in at this date. So that is a much more qualified lead than just a form fill. And then once they're a hot lead, then we notify the client and the client follows up. So the client still has to call the clients, call the potential patients, but they're much more qualified and it's just a better experience for the clinics. They're not going to get frustrated, right? If they get frustrated because they're not responding, they're quickly going to lose enthusiasm for the program.
Yeah.
So that's what it does, yeah.
100%. So they're getting, instead of just getting random Facebook leads in a spreadsheet, like how I started, now they're getting... Yeah. And they're getting notified, and they're logging into. Do they check their app, or how do they check the leads?
We just send them. We send them an email notification, text, push notification.
Okay.
And then they just reach out. And this is like a good tip for we initially try to get the AI to ask all these qualifying questions, but that just makes it too complicated. Like all it really needs to do is just get the person to confirm that they're interested, and that level of qualification is like great. So It's very simple. They're just getting them to want to come in, and then if they have questions about the service, the knowledge database will answer any questions about the services.
I see.
Yeah.
So the main goal is just to see that they are indeed interested in XYZ service.
Yeah, that's all you need to do. Just like,
and then you notify the client, and then the client sees the whole conversation, and then they call them.
Yeah, they call and they text them, and if they can't follow up, they drag them back. We have a column in the pipeline opportunities that says AI follow up. They'll drag them back into that, and the AI will re-engage. Back with the client. Yeah, and then like this is sort of a top secret project, but it's not really top secret since they just said it, but...
It's all right. It's just you and I.
Yeah, no one's watching this. Yeah, so we're starting to integrate with clinics too. So we're starting to integrate with the CRMs, their main EMRs, and we're actually starting to go the route where we're doing like end-to-end booking, where we're following up with the AI, and the AI is booking in-person appointment with credit card deposit.
Wow.
And we're going to eventually start doing... like AI calling too. So the ultimate situation, like the ultimate magical situation for a clinic, they turn on the ads, the AI follows up, and then it calls them through an AI robocall and then collects a deposit. It's kind of creepy, but it's
collects credit card.
Yeah.
Takes a deposit.
It's not, we haven't launched it yet, but that's like, we have it.
That's the future, yeah.
Yeah, we have it in
That'd be crazy.
Yeah, it's insane.
Yeah, the end outcome for the business is such a no-brainer for that price. Like, they're replacing multiple employees at this point for that. And agencies, I mean, literally, they sign up with you. They get appointments, and not just appointments, but they literally have credit cards on file now and appointments on their calendar.
I
mean,
we're going to charge them more for that service.
I bet.
But it's still going to be, a great deal. It's like, there's going to be a no-brainer for sure.
Yeah. That's amazing, man. So you've evolved quite a bit. And how many team members do you have now? This sounds like you have a pretty decent sized team.
Yeah, we had like 17 people, 20 people at one point.
Full time?
Yeah, not full time. I think 6 of those were like the patient concierge people. So those were full time. Yeah. So pretty much
6 people in the call center that were just calling.
We had a lot, dude. Yeah, not calling. Sorry, 6 people doing the texting, and then we had, I think, 3 or 4 callers. The call center didn't last very long. So yeah, I think we had around close to 20 employees, but now we've downsized. So I think right now we have 13, or is it, I don't even know how many employees we have. I think it's 10, we just hired one yesterday. I think it's 12. Yes.
Nice.
So it's, Yeah, it's like a pretty medium-sized team. Not a ton of people, but yeah, it's good.
That's awesome, man. I love that.
Yeah.
And how are you, so throughout this journey, how are you getting the appointments? It seems like you have this superpower where you can basically just get appointments whenever you want, right? Because you've tried this offer, you've tried that one. Even though it didn't work, you went back to the drawing board, and then you guys were able to scale up very, very quickly. How are you able to get appointments? And also, who does the sales? Do you have a salesperson, or is that you?
Yeah, I run a lot of Facebook ads. And then I have 2.
Still to this day?
Yeah, I've been running Facebook ads for like nonstop. Like 6 years.
That's awesome.
Yeah, just fucking let them rip.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have 2 closers. Right now I have 1 since the other's on vacation. 2 closers. And I have an agency that runs my ads too. So I have an agency that runs the ads. I still like to write a lot of the copy because I really like copywriting. So I'll have an agency that's doing that. And I also hired an agency to start doing cold email as well. And then I even hired a guy to start doing like my regular emails to my list. We're testing out writing an email a day because I was writing an weekly email before, but now I'm writing a daily email to my list. So I'm starting to like outsource a lot of the B2B marketing as well.
That's good.
Yeah,
that's awesome, man. How many hours a day roughly would you say that you work?
I'm still working a lot. Like because this past year it's been building this whole new model. So I've been working a lot, like probably. Like 8 to 10 hours, maybe 12 hours some days. I also have this like other newsletter thing that I can talk about later, this entrepreneur thing.
Yeah, 100%.
But yeah, like I love working on this thing and I work a lot on it. It will probably, I think I'm getting to the point where this new, like we're really, really dialing in this done with you system. And so yeah, I should be able to start taking like more of a step away from it in the next couple months.
Yeah. Amazing. So you just hinted a little bit at your next project that you've been working on with the boys. So why don't you tell me a little bit about that? Yeah, so back way back when, I was probably 12 years old. And I was talking with my older brother. I think we were playing like video games on the computer or something. Age of Empires, if anyone remembers that game. Love that game. Yeah, absolute incredible game. Age of Empires 3.
Yeah, classic. Legendary game. So I would just talk with my brother. My brother's like more of a musician type of guy, and I told him that I want to be an entrepreneur when I grow up. And then he's like, you know what? I would rather be a flaneur. And I asked him, I said, what's a flaneur? And he says that, a flaneur is this figure in 19th century Paris. It was this figure in society. He had money somehow, like ambiguously, he just had money. Either he was like came from a rich family, or a lot of them were artists and they got patrons to pay them money and everything. But it was essentially like a professional stroller or lounger. It was also they're called like a connoisseur of the street. And these people would just literally walk around the city and just observe the city. And that was their job. They just walk around, observe the city, and they were almost like part of the city, right? This person that would just walk around and really just take everything in. And just a person that they were just like a professional man of leisure type thing. And so I thought that idea was cool. And then at that point, he's told me, he's like, why don't you be an entrepreneur? Like combine the two. Why don't you be an entrepreneur, but then also have the side of you that just like screws off and just does nothing and, walks around not a care in the world. And this was way back. I was probably like 12 years old. This was a long time ago. Like a long time ago. He kind of incepted that idea into my mind. And then about 6 months ago, me and Sam were actually back here. It was like we like partied all night. It was a Sunday. We were just like getting out here, getting some sun. And then I had this idea. I'm like, you know what? I want to create something called Entrepreneur. And it just came up again. So we actually spent 3 hours on the whiteboard, like creating this entire framework for what Entrepreneur is. And then what I did, I took that framework and I took the next couple weeks and I created an entire white paper. So one of the things I learned from Nick Cosman, actually another program I joined, he's really good at writing these giant sales letters. So I wrote this huge like 30-page manifesto for what an entrepreneur is. And then we had planned this giant launch party. And the idea was the launch party was going to encapsulate what an entrepreneur is, which is like partying, leisure, screwing off, and then business, right? So the party started off with a mastermind, and then it transitioned into this like wild party that went through the night. So we had this wild party, and then what we actually did was we launched a mastermind. It was a school group and we met once a week, and it was all about, I kind of wanted to like rebrand lifestyle design, digital nomad, laptop lifestyle, all these terms. I feel like they've been used a lot. They're kind of reaching maturity, and I feel like they need to be a new term, right? And so we created this mastermind with a bunch of people in this school group. And that was nice, but I quickly realized that, I didn't really want to run this thing. I would rather, I still love the idea, but what I truly love is copywriting. I love writing emails. And so when we launched the mastermind, I also launched an email list, and we were doing both at the same time. We eventually dropped the mastermind, and I'm like, I'm going to go 100% in on this newsletter. So that's been an exciting project. I'm using this software called Beehive. Shout out to Tyler Dank. Software is incredible.
He's here, right?
He's not here right now. He was living here for a couple months.
Okay.
But yeah, he'll be back later this summer.
Yeah. So
I'm using his software to build this newsletter, and it's just like a once a week email newsletter. I talk about everything from, hiring. I have a really cool process for hiring, like personal assistants. I'll just talk about anything. Like, I really love this newsletter because I literally write about anything, but people really like it. They really like, it's kind of like a Seinfeld email. Like, yeah. Seinfeld's a show that's about nothing, but people love to watch it, right? And so, this is another project I've been building, and I want to build this thing up into a huge newsletter. Like, I have no doubt in my mind I could have over 1 million subscribers to this newsletter, because it's like the opposite. It is totally not really niche down, right? So many people can get on this thing. And so with the newsletter, it's kind of, you don't really have to niche down with the newsletter. You definitely can. But I have like old people, young people reading it, women, like men, all different types of people. And I just want to grow this newsletter into a newsletter business. I'm not monetizing it right now, but I'll eventually start monetizing it and things like that.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. I love it. I think you, the last one I read, you had lost your saxophone.
Yeah, I lost my saxophone in Cartagena. I got it back.
You got it back, yeah. You have some crazy stories out there, man. Uber. Yeah. So it's funny because, man, sometimes I hear that you're working 10, 12 hours a day, and then I hear about you stories partying on Sunday night until the morning. Yeah. And then I see photos of you playing a saxophone on stage in front of a bunch of people. So you live an interesting life, but it wasn't always like that. Yeah, like it was eventually, I mean, I started out just running the agency, but I just had like these other things that I love doing. Like I love to party. I also really love music, and I recently got more into saxophone. I was playing when I was in high school, and I started playing it a lot more. So yeah, there's a lot of I kind of do a lot of random things, and then I just write about it in the newsletter. But that's essentially like the idea of being an entrepreneur. Is you can work as hard as you want, but the idea is like there's seasons, right? You don't have to let people decide when you need to work or when you don't need to work. Like if you want to work and freaking grind for the next 3 months, absolutely do that. Like you can totally do that. And then if you want to do that and then take a week off and do absolutely nothing, or 2 weeks, you can do that as well. Some people have a different cadence. They want to, take the weekends off. So it's really about, just doing what feels right for you. And yeah, that's what it's about. I remember seeing a photo in your basement where you were growing the agency. Oh yeah. Talk to me about that. Talk to me about how you felt when you were growing the agency. Oh yeah, when I was starting out, it was lonely for you. Oh, 100%. So yeah, it was super lonely when I first started out. I mean, when I moved back in with my parents, all my classmates are all going to Toronto, getting good jobs and everything like that. I literally went back home. It was like I was moving backwards, right? I was literally living at home for 2 years, like in my parents' basement. Like I never went out. I didn't even tell the kids, like my friends in my hometown, that I was there because I didn't want to be going out every weekend. So that was like a time that I totally locked in. It was like all in. And some parts of my life sacrificed. Like I wasn't getting any social interaction or anything, but that was like what was necessary to get started. So that was an absolute grind to get started. Like I think I'm bringing up Hormozy again, but he talks about the Rocky phase, right? Like the cut scene when you're putting in the work to really refine your craft and cut your teeth. That was the first couple years. Yeah, absolutely. And it's funny because the Rocky cut scene is only 2-3 minutes, but in real life, that Rocky cut scene, it's long. It could be 2-3 years. Yeah. And I think that's the inspiring part about what you did is now obviously I can see these photos and I know you now, and But that wasn't always who you were, and I have my own story as well as everyone else that we have here. All the other entrepreneurs, we had to get here, right, and grind through that process. And what I love about your story too is even though you lost almost everything, you lost almost all of it, but you built the skills, and that's what you could never lose. No matter what happened, you had the skills. And so in a year, I mean, you grew a 7-figure business basically from nothing, right?
Yeah,
because you built those skills and you put in the time, you put in the effort, and that's always something that I say as well is you only have to get good once.
Exactly.
You get good and you build the skills, you can do it again, whether it's the next business or the next iteration, right? Because this is one company, one avatar, but your product has changed so much. And you've succeeded in all of them, but you just kept failing upward until you have what you have now.
Exactly. And look at it this way. If you're grinding and it's taking longer than you think to get results, which it usually does, just look at it this way. If it takes you longer to get that lucky breaker to pop off, when you do eventually pop off, the skills that you've built during that time are going to prepare you even more. Like if you pop off right away, it might be too much. You won't be able to handle it. But if it takes you some time, you're going to grind and build up all those skills that when you do eventually get that break, you're going to be so prepared for it and ready to seize it. So if you succeed quickly or long term, you win either way, as long as you keep on going.
100%. What would you say to someone right now that wants to grow an agency? They want to be where you're at. They want to be here in Colombia, partying, being an entrepreneur, and aimlessly walking around, playing a saxophone in nightclubs. And they want to make a lot of money, but they're stuck. They're trying things. They're failing. Maybe they have their first couple clients, but they don't have any proven system.
So I would say to start off, don't try to be an entrepreneur. Because when I created this newsletter and the mastermind, our avatar, because we were eventually going to the avatar wasn't people just starting off. The avatar were people that were grinding so much and they're already pretty successful in their agency, and then they want to start adding some more dimension to their life, right? When I first started off, I was just doing my agency. For me to do a bunch of saxophone, then it probably wouldn't be the best play. I need to absolutely grind at that part. So if you're starting out, don't try to just do one thing and just lock in. Give yourself 3 years, honestly. Give yourself literally 3 years to lock in and do one thing. And then once you have that success and you're starting to get you're starting to feel maybe you have other ways you want to express yourself. For me, it was music, right? And so I kind of didn't really do much of that. And then when I started making more money, I started adding those things. So if you're just starting off, it's honestly a good idea to just 100% go into it. And then once you start getting success, you can do some other things. But honestly, even the partying, I'll have moments where I party too much and I'm like, fuck, I overdid it and I want to get back to grinding. So the whole partying thing, when you're successful and when you get results, there's still moderation. And if you want to get to the next level, you're going to probably have to go through another phase where you lock in again. So yeah, that's what I'd say about that. If you're starting out, just absolutely commit and just grind as much as possible. Yeah.
I'd love to get some tactical takeaways too for anyone that's watching this that doesn't know exactly what to do. They don't know what actions to take. Okay, cool. I'm ready to grind. I'm ready to put in the time. I'm ready to work the 10, 12 hours a day. What do I do? How do I get started? What do I just start walking into businesses? What do I do? Do I learn Facebook ads? Do I not? Where do I start?
Yeah, it's tough to give anyone I don't really have any suggestions for any sort of vehicle or opportunity. But if I was going to start out again, I think the best thing to do is start off at the high end of the market. So our buddy Nathan Doan, this is what he's doing right now. He's crushing it. He's already getting really good results. And he was 20 years old?
Yeah.
So
hey, he's 21. He had his
21. Yeah. So what I would do if I was starting out, I would do what Nathan did. I would find super obscure, unsexy niche and do work with clients, charge them high ticket up front, and then charge them a percentage of revenue and just work super, super done for you, super, super customized with a very small amount of high-end clients. And the best clients to go for, you want to go with super established sort of old companies that all this digital marketing stuff is still new to them, right? They don't know how to do all these things. So what I would do is go after the high end of the market and just have a couple clients, work with them super closely, do everything possible to get them incredible results. And then you can actually make a shit ton of money that way. You can easily be making you can get to 100K a month with 70 100% margins that way. I would start off that way. And then after that, I would probably figure out, okay, what niche is getting the best results, and then like niche down a bit and start to productize your service a bit more, and then go from there. But honestly, yeah, if I was just starting out, I would like work with, you know, high-end clients and very few, and get really good at copywriting, really good at media buying, figure out like cold email, all those skills like everyone says you need to do. You need to do them. Yeah, that's what I do.
Absolutely.
And like copywriting is the most incredible superpower. So when I started my agency, I started building an email list. Like I've been building my email list for a long time, and I was writing weekly emails, every email to my med spa list. And I just got really good at copywriting. And that's what's allowed me to build this newsletter. Like this newsletter, I'm able to build really good emails because I've had all that practice copywriting. So definitely I would recommend people start copywriting early, because it's not just going to turn you into a better copywriter. It's going to turn you into a better you think way better, and you can speak better too and express your ideas better. So 100%, I would just recommend anyone get good at copywriting. So it's such a valuable skill. Yeah.
And it makes you a better marketer overall. It makes you better with the Facebook ads. You can go learn Facebook ads all you want, but if you're not a good copywriter, you're going to be kind of limited. Like you'll know the technicals, but if you learn copywriting, you're instantly going to be a better Facebook media
and
buyer.
Then people are like, oh, AI copywriting is coming out. Well, AI copywriting doesn't hit the same. It doesn't hit nearly the same. I'll use AI to help me reword a sentence. I like to use Grammarly. Grammarly will make sure your sentences are nice and concise. And then I'll use AI to be like, okay, how can I make this more concise? But it's purely an assistant.
You still have to know the foundations to use the tool. The
tool absolutely
won't replace it.
Yeah.
Right? You need someone steering the ship. So, amazing. Where can people find you?
So, I don't have anything to sell. So, just you can go to my Instagram.
We'll link it up.
So, you can go to my Instagram. On my Instagram, there's a link to Entrepreneur. So, you can just go to entrepreneur.com. It's kind of hard to spell. You can go to my Instagram. And yeah, if you guys sign up for the newsletter, and yeah, it's totally free. Sign up for a couple versions if you like it. You can stay on it, but that's like all I'd tell people to do.
Amazing.
Sign up for your Entrepreneur. Awesome,
man. Well, thank you so much for your time. It's been super valuable. I appreciate you jumping on. I know you flew in. You were out of town. You flew in, and here we are doing the podcast. So I'm leaving soon, but I'll see you in about a month and a half.
Yeah, let's do it, man.
Event. Awesome.
Thank you, Paolo. Appreciate it.
Amazing. Boom.